Everyone, welcome to the January 12th Claims Committee meeting. Madam Clerk, please take the roll.
Councilwoman Jermaine. Councilman Paplaskas,
Present.
Council Vice President Vargas. Councilman Ferry,
Present.
Councilman Donegan,
Present.
Councilman Campiano,
Present.
Council President Marino.
Present.
Thank you. Just for the record, Councilwoman Chair Germain had a prior commitment this evening, so she couldn't be here for the meeting. Second thing I'd like to bring up is we do not have a claims clerk this evening to have the meeting. So I'd like to entertain a motion to continue all the claims on the docket for tonight's agenda to the next Claims Committee meeting, which will be held in February.
So moved. Second.
Any discussion on that item? Seeing none, Madam Clerk, please take the roll.
Councilman Paplaskas,
Yes.
Councilman Ferry,
Yes.
Councilman Donegan,
Yes.
Councilman Campiano,
Yes.
Council President Marino.
Yes.
Seeing no further business for the Claims Committee this evening, I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved. Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Are there any opposed? Seeing none opposed, we are adjourned. If you're on YouTube or Zoom, stay tuned. The next meeting will be at 6 o'clock. Thank you.
Good evening. Welcome to the Public Works Committee, Thursday, January 12th, 6 o'clock. Madam Clerk, if you can please take the roll.
Council Vice President Vargas,
Present.
Councilwoman Jermaine, Councilman Ferry,
Present.
Councilwoman Mazzulli,
Here.
Councilman Donegan, Councilman Riley, Council President Marino.
Present. Thank you. Can I please have a motion to approve the minutes of the last meeting?
So moved.
Second.
Clerk, please take the roll.
Council Vice President Vargas,
Yes.
Councilman Ferry,
Yes.
Councilwoman Mazzulli,
Yes.
Councilman Donegan,
Yes.
Council President Marino.
Yes. Thank you. Moving on to first item, committee business matters carried over. I see none. Move on to public hearings and new matters before the committee. Is there anyone here on the subject matter of anything that's docketed on this agenda this evening? If so, please come forward, and I ask you to please state your name and address for the record. And for those on Zoom, I will ask for public hearing once everyone here on the council chamber has come forward. Sir, welcome.
Good evening. I'm Dave Taglianetti with the Capianato Group at the address of 1414 Atwood Ave, Johnston, Rhode Island. We are here tonight regarding Assessors Plat 17-3, Lot 670, a plot located off of Oak Lawn Ave. And we are here to request permission to do an archaeological investigation within the 25-foot buffer of that cemetery.
Thank you, sir. Is there any, are you all set, sir, or would you, for at least for your public comment?
I'm sorry, do you want us to do our full presentation or just introduce the project?
If you'd like, we can actually hold off because you're on the agenda, I believe, later on. So if, unless there's any objection, we can hold off on the presentation for later on and docketed item. Everybody okay? All right. So we'll hold off and we'll see if there's anybody else here on other docketed items, and then we'll ask you to come up towards the end of the agenda, which is not a long one this evening. Thank you. Is there anyone else here in the chamber that would like to come up on docketed items? Okay. Is there anyone on Zoom that would like to speak on docketed items?
No public comment.
Thank you. We'll close public comment. We'll move on to new matters before the committee. The first item on here is an item from Council Member Anise Germain. The councilwoman is not here this evening. If we can have a, do we need a motion to continue this to the next meeting? All right, thank you. If we can have a motion to continue.
Chair,
Sure.
if the administration has a status and update on the Budlong Pool prepared, would it be okay if we heard it?
Through the administration, would that be okay? Mira, do you have an update? Sure.
Councilman, it's a brief, Councilman, but as you probably heard, this, there's been an earmarking grant that has been awarded to the city, designated to the Budlong Pool for $750,000. Have to be straightforward. Grant writer and Dozier really did much of the work behind that. Certainly, we helped them provide some information, but have to give her kudos for that. In terms of the project itself, it's still in the phase we kind of reported the last time. Their conceptual plans have been completed, and we're now contracted out to receive estimated costs of the project. And they're expected to be, that cost estimate is expected to be in later this month.
Thank you.
Council President Marino.
All right, sure, thanks. Director Moretti, in terms of the Budlong Pool project and the status, is it the administration's intention to coordinate with planning and have this on the capital budget for this upcoming budget?
Yes, it is. That's one of the projects. That's why we hope to get that estimate in sooner than later. But we'll put, without that estimate, we're still going to put something in there. We can always, reduce it, so there's something for sure will be on that planning document.
All right, thank you.
Councilmember Donegan?
Thank you, Chairwoman. Director, at what point do you think the council can expect to see some sort of conceptual designs for the architect or engineer? I know it was referenced in this week's Herald.
Yeah, I was a bit surprised that it was released, those drawings. I believe, I know the mayor has shared it with Councilwoman Germain. I'm not sure if other council folks have received them. I know he has them in the office. I can maybe I'll make copies and send them out. But again, I caution if the plans do change and that's not what happens. That's why we don't, but they're available. Let me say that, and willing to share whether you want to stop by the office, or I could send them out individually or collectively. But we have physical documents at the office.
What, if it's not too much to ask, would the office be willing to send that electronically to the council?
Sure.
Thank you.
Any other council members on this subject matter? Okay, so Councilmember Ferry, are you okay then adding the other item to moving that over to next month's Public Works?
Oh, yeah, I
You
just
had
wanted
two
to hear
items
about
on
the
there, that's
pool.
why. Okay, thank you. So if I can please then have a motion to send a discussion about the sidewalk safety in Ward 2 and who is liable in case of a fall under Councilwoman Germain's new items before the committee to the next Public Works meeting.
Still moved.
Thank you. Next item on the agenda, Councilman Ferry. Explanation of sidewalk and curb. Oh, sorry, I apologize. Take the roll on that motion to be continued to the February Public Works Committee.
Council Vice President Vargas,
Yes.
Councilman Ferry.
Yes.
Councilwoman Mazzulli.
Yes.
Councilman Donegan.
Yes.
Council President Marino.
Yes.
Thank you. As previously stated, we're moving on to the next item. Councilman Ferry, your item on here is explanation of sidewalk and curb repairs.
Okay, to the chair, if I may, address Director Moretti. Through the campaign season, didn't matter what ward I was personally walking in. I noticed that there are a lot of bad sidewalks in the city. I'm sure you're aware of that. And I've reported many of them, as constituents have reported them to me, and I seem to get conflicting answers every time I send in a problem about a sidewalk. For instance, I have a guy across the street from me whose curb is all ripped up, and I sent pictures in one time and I was told that he was responsible to fix the curb, which I thought was kind of ludicrous, because if the city put the curb in, why would the constituent have to fix it? That's my personal feeling. Then I had someone in Ward 3 last month want a repair, and they were offered asphalt when the rest of the sidewalk is cement. So I thought that was a kind of a conflicting answer. Then I looked at the webpage one time, and Chris was just showing me there is a program that we're supposed to pay so much towards fixing sidewalks, but that has to be funded. And when it runs out of money, we basically tell the people, I'm sorry, we're out of money. We can't do it. So what I'm looking for tonight is like maybe an explanation of exactly what the city does when someone calls with a complaint about their sidewalk, and what are we supposed to do when they call us or ask us, because we need to be concise and clear about how to answer their questions, because we even have a situation in Ward 1 right now where someone that I know has got a problem with the gas line. The gas company dug it up. The city's blaming the gas company's blaming the city. So it's just like, I'm looking for some clarity. That's all I'm looking for. Thank you.
I probably can help to a certain extent, because some of these do have to be taken on an individual basis. But the general rule, I could say that, is by ordinance, the homeowner or the property owner abutting the sidewalks are responsible for the maintenance and repair of the curbing and the curbing and the sidewalks. That's the vanilla response. There's 2 or 3 ordinances on the books that indicate that. There is a sidewalk cost sharing program that we do have. This year's budget, there was $30,000 appropriated for it. I believe we're about half of it has been used up at this point, not all of it. But that provides for the city on a reimbursement basis, paying for $5 per foot per square foot for concrete and $3 per square foot for asphalt. That's your primary answer.
So constituents, if they have a curb in front of their house, they are responsible for that curbing,
For the maintenance of that.
even if the plow ripped it up.
If the city did the damage and it was a city plow, the city would be responsible for it. But for normal wear and tear deterioration, it's the property owner.
Okay, and are we considering increasing that budget as we see that the sidewalks are deteriorating more and more?
Well, I think that's probably for bigger discussion over the next couple of months to address that.
Okay, thank you.
Councilmember Ferrer,
I'm good.
okay? All right, great. Councilmember Renzulli.
Thank you. Director Marty, so would a constituent put in a claim if a plow hit the sidewalk or hit the curbing and ruined it? That's how they would address that problem?
They could notify DPW and DPW wouldn't be necessary. We'll address it. Similar to I guess a pothole. City will take responsibility for that. If they notify DPW and DPW can get to repair it.
Okay, so they don't put in a claim through the claims committee?
That'd be the city responsibility.
Okay.
I'm quite sure.
All right, thank you.
If anything different from that, I'll let you know.
Great, thank you so much.
Any other council members or any other questions as a follow-up to that?
Yeah, thank you. Just want to follow up in the past, the last few years, if I've seen the damage that happens on the curbing, and we have an in-house concrete crew that can come out, and it's not perfect, but they can kind of, shape it and get it kind of back to where it was before or repair it. There's actually a resident in my ward that has had an issue with that in the past. They're on a main thoroughway, so I'll reach out to you. And I know Councilman Ferry's spoken to the individual too, and maybe we can fix that. So thank you.
Sure.
All right, if there are no other questions on this matter, I'll move on to request from the Carpinato Group LLC permit for alterations near Historic Cemetery CR 030 King Randall Lot. Hi, sir. How are you?
I am well. How are you?
Good, thank you. If you can, please, once again, do you need his name once again and address? Please state your name and address once again for the record, and you may proceed on letting us know what this request is about.
Good evening. Again, Dave Taglianetti with the Carpinato Group, address at 1414 Atwood Ave, Johnston, Rhode Island. With me tonight from the project team is Peter Meir with the Public Archaeological Laboratory, and also Attorney Hamilton with the Law Office of Moses Ryan. Again, we are here tonight in regard to Assessors Plat 17-3, Lot 670. It's currently a vacant lot located off of Oak Lawn Ave, just south of Dean Street and Dean Parkway. There is an adjacent cemetery. It's historical cemetery number 30, right adjacent to our property. And as a result, any work within 25 feet of the surrounding buffer requires approval through City Council. So Public Archaeological Laboratory has already submitted a permit to the Rhode Island Historical Preservation Commission, and we received a permit to do this work. So that permit was submitted as part of this application. So we are just simply here tonight seeking the city permission to go ahead and do this archaeological investigation within the 25-foot buffer that falls onto our property.
Thank you. Through the clerk, I just want to double check and confirm that permit was submitted in fact with the application.
Pardon?
The permit was actually submitted with the application
Yes.
as well? All right, great. Thank you. I open it up for any questions that any council members has regarding this item before us. Councilman Paplaskas.
Thank you, Chair. I'm not on the committee. I don't have a vote tonight, but this property does fall in my ward. So I'm looking at the map here and I see the yellow area that's shaded along the perimeter of the parking lot where there's parking spaces. Is that why you're here this evening? Is that the 25-foot that you're going to be doing the work? Correct. Okay. And then my only other question is the archaeological laboratory. They don't see any issues with this. There should be no grave sites in that yellow area.
Peter Meir is here with the,
So I'll direct my question to Peter. Just need your name and address for the record.
My name is Peter Mayer. I'm a senior archaeologist with the Public Archaeology Laboratory, 26 Main Street, Pawtucket, Rhode Island. Based on the research that we've done and a field investigation, the cemetery is bounded by a stone wall. It's a very low stone wall. Based on the topography in the 25-foot buffer between the stone wall and the 25-foot buffer that we are looking at, it's very unlikely that we will find any unmarked graves in that, but it's by the state and your own city ordinances, we do have to confirm that. And that's the purpose of this survey.
Excellent. Thank you very much. I have no further questions. Thank you.
Thank you. Are there any additional questions? Councilmember Donegan.
Thank you, Chairwoman. I guess procedurally, the request is to grant you permission to conduct the survey. Is that correct?
correct.
Thank you.
Any other questions? Council President Marino.
Thank you. Mr. Taglianetti? I just had a question with respect to the final report after you conduct the archaeological survey. It says is draft is due in January and the final is in February. Would it be agreeable to you? I might suggest that this approval just be conditioned on a copy of that report being submitted to the clerk's office to attach to the permit and the application, just so we have that on file as well.
Absolutely.
Okay. Thanks.
Thank you. Any other questions from any of the other council members? All right. Thank you, sir. Thank you. If there's no other further questions, I will have a motion to approve this request from the Pernago. Do I hear a motion?
Motion to approve.
If I could, can we make a motion to approve with the condition that the final report for the archaeological survey is then provided to the clerk to attach to the permit and application?
It's all right with me.
All right.
I'll second, well,
Withdraw my motion.
And I'll
I'll make the motion as stated by Council President Marino.
second.
All right. Thank you to the clerk. If we can actually take a roll call on that one.
Council Vice President Vargas,
Yes.
Councilman Ferry,
Yes.
Councilwoman Renzulli,
Yes.
Councilman Donegan,
Yes.
Council President Marino.
Yes.
Thank you on that motion. And now we believe have to do another motion on the request, correct? I think that'd be good, right? All right. All right. So may I have, at that point, if there's no further business on here, I can have a motion to adjourn the Public Works Committee meeting.
Chair, I have one item. It's not on the agenda and I won't make Director Moretti speak on the spot, but if we could add to the next Public Works agenda, just an update on the construction for the park in Knightsville, from either Director Bernardo or Director Moretti. We can do it next month, just where we're at in the phase of construction. Thank you.
Okay. All right. Great. Yep. No problem at all.
Motion to adjourn.
Second. Yeah. All in favor?
Aye.
All against the adjournment? All right. Meeting adjourned. Thank you. All right, good evening. Welcome to the Ordinance Committee. It's Thursday, January 12th, 6:30. Madam Clerk, can you please take the roll?
Council Vice President Vargas,
Present.
Councilwoman Jermaine, Councilwoman Renzulli,
Here.
Councilman Ferry,
Here.
Councilman Donegan, Councilman Riley, Council President Marino.
Present.
Thank you. Next item that we have is approval of minutes of the last meeting. Can I please have a motion?
Motion to approve.
Second.
Thank you. Madam Clerk, can you please take a roll?
Council Vice President Vargas.
Yes.
Councilwoman Renzulli,
Yes.
Councilman Ferry,
Yes.
Councilman Donegan, Council President Marino.
Yes.
Thank you. Committee business matters carried over. There are none. We now then move over to public hearings on new matters before the committee. Is there, I don't think I see anyone here, but either way, is there anybody here to address any items on the docketed item? I don't see none. Is there anyone on Zoom?
No public comment.
Great, thank you. I am going to now defer to our legal counsel who would like to discuss a matter before the council. Thank you.
So it's actually not on your docket tonight, so we're not going to have any discussion on it, but I noticed at the Finance Committee meeting, there was discussion about the conflict, if you will, between the two tax interest waiver statutes. And a lot of phone calls this week. I'm sure Mr. Donegan has had his share of them, as I have. And I just wanted to give, just say a few things about that under this portion of the agenda so the council knows what we're looking at as we come into another Finance Committee hearing at some point and the agenda itself. So there are two tax interest waiver statutes. The first one is really guidelines and authority under which the council is able to grant tax interest waivers. Okay. And I had some discussion about that with Mr. Capuano, and I'm in agreement that that ordinance is separate from the fourth or fifth one down after that. And I apologize because I don't have the citation in my head right now. The one that allows for the $250 waiver is strictly for Mr. Capuano to grant. You guys never see that. It's $250 a quarter. He has the authority to do that according to the provisions of that ordinance. You never see it. What he brings before you is what he is requesting the council to do. And certainly you have the right on that, on the stuff that comes before you to approve or deny. But I did speak to Mr. Capuano, and I know he, on behalf of the administration, had indicated that all of us have taken a hard look at this in the last week. And there are some deficiencies that don't make the ordinances defective in and of themselves. But we're going to work together to clean up the language and make it more clear as to what each does and that they don't relate to each other. Okay, they relate to tax interest waivers, but they do not relate to each other. The council has the right to do what it has done for years under the first ordinance with respect to granting those waivers. So can't have discussion on it tonight. I just wanted you to know, because I'm sure it might cut down on a few phone calls that maybe you're getting. And I thought that might be helpful to you, but we're on it. We know about it, and we'll get back to you on it. In the meantime, it's business as usual with respect to those on your finance agenda.
Thank you so much for that. All right, we'll now move over onto new matters before the committee. We have 122202, ordinance and amendment of chapter 10, title 32, section 020 of the Code of the City of Cranston, 2005, entitled Motor Vehicles and Traffic Stop Intersections Enumerated, Rangley Road and Carver Road, sponsored by Mayor Hopkins and Councilwoman Renzulli.
Motion to approve.
Any discussion? Councilmember Renzulli, please.
Thank you. So this came up as I was campaigning. I spoke to one of the neighbors, Mr. Pannone, who had several complaints about speeding issues in that area as using this road as a cut through between Budlong and Bretton Woods. So I did advise to report traffic issues to the police department. And so Major Padalano expressed that he's had an ongoing issue in that area for many years, and that they have utilized the CARE program to have patrol officers there as often as they can. He did tell me that he believed a stop sign placed here on Rangeley Road would alleviate some of the problems as it did further down that road. And that is why I put in this ordinance. I think he did plan to be here tonight to speak on it. However, he had something else he had to testify at tonight as well. So if anyone has any further questions, they can direct those to the police department, but I think it's pretty basic because a lot of complaints have come in about this, and that's what they had recommended to do.
Thank you. Councilmember, is there anyone on the council who has any questions? I have a question myself, but I'll defer if anybody else has one.
I was on the phone with Major Padalano this week about something else, and he mentioned that was coming up, and I told him it was coming up this Thursday, and he is definitely in favor of this happening.
Thank you.
He wanted me to say that.
Appreciate it. No, thank you, as noted. Councilman Manzilli, do you know if there's a traffic study at all with the stop sign? I think usually we have one.
Is Mr. Moretti over there still? Oh, there we go. He can answer this one.
Public Works and Mr. Mulcahy saw this as an endorsement of Major Padalano. And with that, he was deferring to his expertise and felt it wouldn't be necessary for what it would need to say. And because of this public safety, with the police department saying he's deferring to the major.
If I can ask, usually I think it's been protocol that we actually have a traffic study. Or we've either done that or have continued it to the next meeting. And so we can, if we get that in writing, or we can actually, pass this, if there was a motion to pass pending traffic study for the council meeting, the next council meeting, or at least some sort of a language that states that, if the legal counsel agrees with that, I think that would be the best thing.
You're right on point, Madam Vice President. Certainly this committee can pass it out of committee with a positive recommendation to the full council, and the administration can just provide a writing to the council at that time. The council can accept it into the record, and if it doesn't change the vote on this or what the council would like to do, you can proceed that way.
Great. Thank you for that.
For clarification, would you be would they be necessary to have a traffic study for that, or just a statement from Mr. Mulcahy?
I think whatever Mr. Mulcahy would like to provide,
Okay.
and I think it might be helpful if traffic control at CPD chimed in on that. I think that might do it.
Okay,
It sounds like it's something that is a problem for traffic control that the police department is aware of. That would certainly override a traffic study, but nevertheless, the council wants an opinion from both. Let's get it.
very good.
All right, if that is the case, then is there a motion to then approve pending language? Can someone entertain a motion on that? To approve pending language on from the police department and traffic study on this?
I have to take the motion back. I remove my motion.
Did anybody second that? No? Who seconded that motion initially? No? All right. There was a motion to, I believe there was a motion to actually for discussion, but there wasn't any additional motion. So we need to actually place that motion to actually approve this pending traffic study. Seconded it. I didn't second. Did anybody second that? Okay, so if you can remove your second. Thank you. And now we can entertain a motion to approve pending language.
Motion to approve pending language from CPD, Traffic Department and Mr. Mulcahy in traffic.
All right, no? All right, Madam Clerk, can you please take the roll call on that?
Council Vice President Vargas,
Yes.
Councilwoman Renzulli,
Yes.
Councilman Ferry,
Yes.
Councilman Donegan, President Marino.
Yes.
All right, thank you. Seeing there's no further business, is there a motion to
Motion to
adjourn?
adjourn.
Everyone in favor say aye.
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 Nay, I have it. Motion adjourned. Meeting has been adjourned. Thank you.